All right, well, speaking about the Dolphins, let's talk about a former Miami Dolphin. Robert Quinn is holding out of mandatory minicamp right now. What are your thoughts?
I I feel like the Bears have no choice but to trade him. Those are my thoughts.
They're the most poverty franchise right now.
Like it's weird to say that about a player who just had 18 and a half sacks, set the franchise record. What was
That
that?
was a chair. That was so aggressively loud. It's never been that loud before.
But yeah, like you said, they're even with Quinn on the roster, the Bears have a bottom 5 roster in
Oh
the
my God, yeah,
NFL.
they're terrible.
It's not even arguable. And he's what, 32 years old. He does not fit into their plans at
What's
all.
his
His
contract
value,
situation right now?
he has a $12.9 million salary this year.
Well, I mean, like
And
years.
I think he has 3 years left.
Okay, yeah, he's got to get traded or cut or
Yeah,
something.
the acquiring team will get a 3-year, $39.6 million deal,
Yeah.
but with no guarantees.
So,
So his
Jinx.
value will never be high.
So what I think, so like he was saying, his value will never be higher than it is right now because he just had a 18.5 sack season. uh, but I want to talk about teams that I think he could fit in and what you think a trade for him would look like. Mike, talk. I don't care.
Thank you. You had to say my name.
So what do you
It's not
think
that
he'll be
funny.
traded for?
Yeah, I think that at best he'll get a
Third,
fourth round pick.
I think a third and a
which-
sixth.
Yeah, it's something like that. I think a contending team. It's not.
Nelson
it's
Spruce,
worth it to
maybe,
get him.
add him in there.
Are we gonna like reference on every single podcast?
Even my own
We
channel?
gotta have some running bits. But yeah, the first team that came to mind for Robert Quinn for me is maybe he could return to Dallas. You know, he was there for the 1 year in 2019. He had 11 and a half sacks in 14 games, and they lost Randy Gregory. So opposite DeMarcus Lawrence right now is Dorrance Armstrong, Dante Fowler, or second rounder Sam Williams. So
that's not.
there's
Sam
there's a
Williams.
there's a. What'd you say?
I mean, they have a second round rookie. I mean, he might be something, but I get what
Yeah,
you're saying.
but like for right now, you know,
You want
a contending
Send him to the Pats.
here we go. But yeah,
Who's
I
our
think
best pass rusher? Like Chase Winovich is gone. He kind of sucked.
Matt Judon.
Well, yeah, but like I meant outside of him. Come on, because like seriously, we have Matt Judon and Dietrich Y still on the team. I don't even know.
Yeah, I feel like we say the Patriots as a good landing spot for every
Well,
player on here, but they all make sense because
It really does. It makes sense. Like Odell makes sense.
DK Metcalf,
DK Metcalf. DK Metcalf. Robert
the greatest
Quinn.
wide
No.
receiver.
Ew. Are there any corners available like right now? Does like AJ Terrell want to get traded?
I haven't heard any rumblings of
No,
that.
but
That's
like
probably a
he
next
should just
year
be
thing.
like, oh, let me trade me to the Patriots or something. That'd be cool. Oh, if we had AJ Terrell. AJ Terrell in a Bill Belichick defensive scheme would be amazing. Anyways,
Robert
yeah.
Quinn.
Yeah. Yep.
Do you have any other teams besides the Patriots?
Well, I mean, this is gonna sound weird, but hear me out. The 49ers. Outside of Nick Bosa, I believe the team had 8 sacks. Or something around the lines, because he had 15 and a half or 15. No, the team had 26 sacks, 24 or 26 sacks as a whole. He had 15 or 15 and a half. And they need someone else on that line to help them out. Because Eric Armstead, he's like, you know, all right. Nick Bosa's obviously elite, but outside of that, it's like, I think they have one other good defensive tackle. I just can't recall his name.
And they lost DJ Jones to Denver.
Oh, that's what it was. Yeah,
So,
so they don't even have him anymore.
I didn't think of them, but that's another solid spot.
Yeah.
I mentioned how we always mention the Patriots for every team, but I feel like we also mention the Ravens for a lot of
yeah.
these teams. And
Yeah,
I think
'cause,
that's
mean,
another
the Ravens,
one.
The Ravens. Sorry, continue.
No, go ahead.
I was saying the Ravens and the Patriots are similar in ways that like they're not really similar as teams, but they're similar in that they have specific needs that like aren't sometimes glaring, but adding something there would be astronomical.
Right. and they've been looking for pass rush help. They met with Jason Pierre-Paul, I think, last week. Odafe Owe had shoulder surgery. Tyus Bowser had a torn Achilles last year, and David Ojabo just tore his Achilles at his pro day this year. So the first two guys, maybe I see
Did
with
you
the
get it?
hand. I see.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. You always try to throw me off track by doing hand signals and pointing to the background. And
Yeah, you know, that's the
but
fun of it.
the Ravens, they always have a knack for like stealing veteran players for cheap prices.
Calais
Remember when
Campbell.
they got Calais Campbell they got him for the same compensation that they gave up or they got in return for Kari Vedvik, the kicker they traded to the Vikings, who was cut even before the season began. So it seems like one of those classic Ravens moves. As a Steelers fan, I wouldn't like it, but it makes sense.
Yeah, I think the 49ers, Ravens, Cowboys, hell, even maybe the Colts.
The Cardinals,
Colts would be
too,
Cardinals.
I think.
Yeah, now Chandler Jones is gone. I mean, yeah.
Yeah. Age has never really stopped them from acquiring a player before.
J.J. Watt,
And you can't count on his health, so...
Zach Ertz.
Even Devon Kennard and Marcus Golden are like their edge defenders.
After he was traded to the Cardinals, Zach Ertz was amazing. Again, he played so well for the Cardinals, definitely top 10 again, at least the second half of the year. Because with the Eagles, my God, did he do terrible. He wasn't getting snaps really though.
That's what playing with a terrible quarterback like Carson Wentz can do to a guy.
I think you're talking about Jalen Hurts.
No, I don't
No,
know.
because he did good with Carson. He actually had the best year of his career with Carson. And then last year
way
with
back
Jalen
in,
Hurts.
2018?
Yeah, but then he continued to do well.
Even in 2020?
I don't know. Let me look it up. Listen, I
don't
wasn't
even remember.
expecting to talk about Zach Ertz. I didn't have his stats up.
I just like messing with you about Carson Wentz.
That's he played in 11 games and had 335 yards, but that's besides the point. I think that's when Dallas Goedert started to become the starter. So, anyways, Robert Quinn, send him to the Pats, 49ers, Ravens, Cowboys, maybe even the Colts. Do good there. Fucking third round pick. Every team's got one. Not every team, you know what I mean.
I will say, though, about Robert Quinn, he's one of the most, like, up and down.
Yeah, no,
defensive
didn't we talk
players.
about that, like, 2 podcast episodes ago or something?
Yeah, like, he'll have, like, 20 sacks, then he'll have 6,
7.
then 18, and he's also, even when he does have a lot of sacks, he doesn't really have a lot of pressures. Like, this year he was second in sacks, but 36th in pressures. So, if he's getting to the quarterback, he's taking him down, but besides that, he's not really getting
That
there
exact
very
sentence has
often.
left your mouth before.
Listen, people have to know.
You're right, you're right.